A very unsuccessful assassination attempt on Governor Natembeya's life was done yesterday in Kebuchai constituency in Bungoma County. We bring for you the full details of that attack here at the People's Mirror. But first, if you are joining the People's Mirror for the first time, please hit the subscribe button so that we keep updating you on what happens in the Kenyan political scene as they happen. We are an affiliate channel of the Civic Lens KE, which is our parent channel, and here we report for you what happens in the Kenyan political scene as it does. Now let's start from the top. Yesterday in Kebuchai constituency in Bungoma County, the life of Natembeya was almost claimed by goons and police alike. And this story stems from something that is historical. Now, Bungoma County, which is part of the former Western Province, is an area where the dominance and influence of Honorable Wetang'Ula is still loud. It's one area where Ford Kenya party still has a dominance, and it's the playground for the politics of Wetang'Ula that he plays consistently that has kept his image in the national scene all this while. So this particular area, if you're going to contest against Wetang'Ula's dominance, then you need to properly plan yourself on how to influence that particular kinship. Now, previously, for a period of quite some time, with these by-elections being witnessed in Malawi and such like places, we have seen Natembeya's rise being very consistent. Governor Natembeya has been making statements aimed at replacing the old lawyer guards with the new lawyer guards, targeting the kingship of this particular community. Now, this statement has been made in isolation and others have been made in public rallies, yet the old guards have not directly responded previously. We have not seen Wetang'Ula directly responding to Natembeya or Oparanya or Mudavadi in these particular attacks. Now let's go to Kebuchai first before we talk about the attack between the old guards and the young guards in the Luya area. This thing started very funnily. Majimbo Kalasinga is currently the member of parliament for this particular constituency called Kebuchai, which is located in Bungoma constituency. Now, Kebuchai in Bungoma County rather. So Bungoma County has a lot of constituency, yeah? And Kebuchai constituency is among them. Now, there is no primary by-election in Kebuchai constituency as a constituency, but there is primary by-elections that are set to be held in one of the sub-counties of this constituency called Kebuchai constituency. The united opposition candidate in this particular ward by-election is called Wekesa, and Ford Kenya is also fronting a candidate in that particular ward by-election within Kebuchai constituency. This particular constituency has historically been known to be the backyard of Honorable Wetang'Ula, and the current MP of this constituency, Honorable Majimbo Kalasinga, is for a long time, has been for a long time, a very good friend of Wetang'Ula. So where did the rift begin to the extent of trying to claim the life of Governor Natembeya in this particular backyard? The rift began when Majimbo Kalasinga wrote in a newspaper, or his comments were actually quoted in a public newspaper, that he intended to battle it against Wetang'Ula in Kabuchai constituency. Now remember, for a long time Wetang'Ula was a senator of Bungoma County before he became the Speaker of the National Assembly. He has control over this particular area that is so grounded. And so when these particular statements were made, it actually sparked anger within him. Wetang'Ula went all the way to Kebuchai constituency in that ward and asked the people of Kebuchai constituency whether or not Kalasinga was out of his mind. And he said that if so, he intends to battle it, then it was not going to be easy for him. While addressing the people of Kebuchai constituency in a native language, he said that kinship is not given, kinship is battled for. And there is no election that will be held in Kebuchai constituency unless the people that are contesting against him have crossed the border. Now, it's like the people of Kebuchai constituency, or rather within that ward, took these particular statements of Honorable Wetang'ula, the current Speaker of the National Assembly, as an order to attack Majimbo Kalasinga. So they went very hard on the properties of Majimbo Kalasinga, the MP, including his home, and attacked his home, broke his windows and things like that, destroyed his home. So Kalasinga's, the destruction of Kalasinga's family now made him very angry. He went on public television again saying that Wetang'ula was treating his statement as if himself he does not have an independent vote and independent voice that is tied to his vote. And so the goons from Ford Kenya going to attack his home was like saying that Wetang'ula was attacking him directly. So after these statements were made, the new guard who wants to replace the old guard, Governor Natembeya, who was also touring this particular area while rallying support for the united opposition in Malava, decided to go and witness what had happened in Majimbo Kalasinga's home. And so when he reached there, he saw the destruction that had been, done at the properties of this member of parliament, and he did not spare his words. This time, he did not address the lawyer guards jointly. He addressed them particularly, and he was addressing Honorable Wetang'ula, the Speaker of the National Assembly, calling him names, abusing him in literal abusive words, calling him Pumbavu and such like things in the news bites that have since been covered by national televisions. Now, he did not finish making his statement on his attacks of Wetang'ula while also rallying support for Wekesa in the by-elections that are to be held in this ward in Kabuchai constituency against the dominant Ford Kenya party, when the gunshots were heard and the goons arrived, and now members of the public who are listening to these particular speeches had to duck in different stalls of the market. Later on, after the melee came to an end, there was massive destruction of vehicles that were part and parcel of the convoy that Natembeya had come with. There was tear gas, and we saw some videos being shared in social media platforms where actual supporters and MCAs who were with Natembeya were actually tear gassed, and their vehicles were targeted by gunshots. And we also was informed that one of the member of county assemblies who was actually part of this convoy with Honorable George Natembeya, the governor, was also attacked. His vehicle was attacked, and he also left with some injuries. So this was the reaction that was witnessed in Kebuchai constituency yesterday. Yet all this melee was not attacked, or all this melee was not an attack aimed at the member of parliament, Honorable Majimbo Kalasinga, nor Governor Natembeya, but was aimed at while all these attacks were not aimed at the member of parliament, being Honorable Majimbo Kalasinga, but they were all aimed at claiming the life of Honorable George Natembeya. So the tension has increased not only in Malava, but now it has increased beyond border to Kebuchai constituency in Bungoma County, where now the united opposition's individuals are finding it as a very hot ground to go back and campaign for Wekesa in this particular by-elections that are set for 4 days, with the Ford Kenya showing their dominance of this area and showing the kingship of Honorable Wetang'ula in this area. We do not know yet how things are going to unfold within these 4 days that are between us now and the day when this particular by-elections will be held, but it is very, very clear from what we have seen from Kebuchai constituency that it's going to be a very hostile ground for any other person that is affiliated to Honorable George Natembeya. It also shows that it's one of the things that are being witnessed within this fight of old guard and new guard, and perhaps now this is one of the response that the old lawyer guards are using to suppress the rise of any other person who would want to also become a kingpin in this particular area. So as the fight or rift between Natembeya and Wetang'ula increases, Kebuchai constituency's by-election in that ward remains to be a testament of whether or not Ford Kenya will still be a dominant party in Kebuchai constituency and in Bungoma, or the united opposition seed is slowly infiltrating counties, and it has now found access in the highly guarded Bungoma County.